The
jingle needs work. Hello, everyone.
I think I had a moment. But anyway, how are we getting on?
We are back again. It is the StatrCast. It is myself. It is John. It is Dermot. And it is Dean. A fine lineup, if ever I laid eyes on one.
It's nice to see you home, Dermot.
Right? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Oh, but I think we've got two
good
topics tonight because obviously you can see Dermot is wearing a slightly retro Leeds jersey, and I'm obviously wearing the luminous pink Fulham away kit from last season. It's going to be Leeds and Fulham today in the GVC without Gary. So myself and Dermot, being the two teams we support, we're going to lead the charge because I think we have a few things we're going to rant about. Leeds back in the Premier League, Fulham looking to build. Jimi's going to tell me I'm wrong, and Dean is also going to agree that both of us are wrong. And I think that's the general gist. No matter what we say, Dermot, tonight, we're going to be wrong, even though they're the clubs we support. But
as is tradition.
As is tradition. Outside of that, because we're a few weeks away from the Premier League season, what we want to do is we want to kind of look at Premier League draft, playing Statter, whether you're playing one of the competitors. There is stuff that each of us does in preparation of draft night. So I want to look at our top tips for drafting and getting your team, getting your setup right for the night. So who wants to lead us out there? What you do? How are we working this?
I mean, I usually start with 2 to 3 years of number analysis, disregarding everything about football and concentrating only on numbers. No heart, all head, and then just before the night before the draft, I say a quick prayer to James Ward-Prowse, and I go to bed early. And that's my prep for the draft.
Is that what you do?
That's what I do.
Does anyone else find it very funny that the person who admits to doing no heart, all head can't win?
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Like straight in with the classic there, Derm. Good to have you back.
I mean, it's a solid logic. Like,
you need heart to win it as well, though. That's the problem.
If you're basing everything just on data, if you're basing all your decisions, Jim, just on the hard data, you're missing the sleepers, you're missing the sexy transfers, you're missing the guys who come into the league that are going to hit the ground running. There's a few of them, and you miss out on all of them every year. But the flip side of that is you can do what I do, and I set up a whole list of forwards, I set up a whole list of midfielders, I set up a whole list of defenders and goalkeepers, the guys that I want in each position, and then I inevitably pick Ryan Sessegnon because this is going to be his year. So you can go too far the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do miss transfers, and yourself and Gary in particular are very big on, this guy's moved in, he's going to be big, and I think you overreach on that and take like 4 or 5 of them each, and like 3 or 4 of them work, and I think it hurts you. But no, you're right. Sometimes you have to follow the heart just a little bit and take a gut call. I would be very curious to hear about the draft eve preparations from these two illustrious gentlemen, though, because I imagine they're on very, very different plans.
Yeah, Dean, talk to me, Dean. You're the one I want.
What's the system, Dino?
Do they play for Man United?
My system is usually try and get home about 10 minutes before we jump on the draft. Download stats about 3 minutes before we go on the draft. Sort by average points per game, which seems like good logic, but some players might only play like 3 games in the last season, and then you end up picking them, not realizing that they're actually a bench warmer. And then just kind of go from there. Just as the names start dwindling down, just start sorting from most points last season. And it's basically like throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. hasn't happened yet, but someday that logic is going to...
I don't know, Dean. Was it not last year, the year before, you managed to pick up Martin Dubravka and Hugo Lloris?
Using that strategy. Yes, using that exact strategy.
Yeah. Picking Dubravka when Pope hadn't been picked is still my favorite. Maybe, I don't know, what are we, year 11? It might be the highlight. It actually might be the highlight.
I think that is one of my highlights. That is the double draft fuck up where he goes for Newcastle's second choice because he was on loan at Man United, so he must go back into Newcastle and play. And then follows it up with a keeper who was going into retirement. It was beautiful. It's like drafting next week and picking Son.
No, it's like drafting next week and picking Dubravka because he's going to Burnley.
Not. He'll be busy in goals.
It's not actually the worst. It's not the worst.
You might say it's the best.
all.
You might say it's the best time to pick him.
Yeah.
It's the best time to pick him in the last 6 years, and you've managed to have him for the last 3, I think, now at this stage.
You got to get him again, man. To be fair, Dean has hosted the draft on occasion. That was actually our most well put together, organized, and well stocked and supplied draft night we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do remember you getting a bit fucked off at the end and just picking random West Ham centre backs that hadn't played in like years, but it's like it's a solid system. It's the top down. It's the classic. It's what 99% of people will do. If they don't go in with a game plan, they will go, right, who got the most last year? That's who gets the best this year. It's not a million miles away from what I do when you get down to it. Like I can dance around a million different ways and go, oh, yes, but if the stadium is facing west and it's like the first 3 weeks of the year, then the ball will go with the Coriolis effect. And it's like the same motherfucker's still going to score the points because he's the good player.
Over here in the comments on TikTok, we've got somebody who's on holidays going, do what I do. See who's signed from Spain and Germany and then pick that. That's his method.
That's almost the exact opposite of what I will do. Someone's got to be very, 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 very special if they're a new signing to even get consideration. I'd say Haaland is probably the first new signing into the Prem that I picked in a very long time.
Yeah.
I'd consider it this year with 2 people at the moment.
And who would they be?
One of them is Gyökeres. I don't know. The other one's still a secret. I mean, we're talking about what are we doing here? We're talking about draft tactics. Should we before the draft? What are you talking about?
Is it Florian Wirtz?
It's actually not, but he's another one.
He's not a bad shout. He's not a bad shout.
Wirtz is class. I've watched a lot of him, but
it's how quickly he left Germany.
I would take Wirtz, actually. Yeah. I would take Wirtz first round, in fact, if I was one of you.
Jimmy, our tactic for the night is to get Jimmy, the tactic is to get Dermot to drop whoever it is.
I don't want names. I don't want names.
I want names.
We all have our own names.
The only thing he wants is names.
No,
it's all fundamental. It's not the whole point of fucking here.
Core, everything about fantasy football comes down to one simple belief, and that's that you're smarter than your mates. So I don't want your fucking names. But what I would be curious about is there a methodology? Are you coming in hot like Dean? Are you going gut like John?
No.
Are you going meticulous like me? What way are you going?
I'm going meticulous like me. Weeks before the draft. Like everything. You have to track everything, who's moving where. A big tip I would give people, especially if you're playing Statter, given the better point system, is first thing to look at minutes played. Who's playing, who's finishing games, not just playing for 55 and then coming off and not getting any clean sheet points or anything like that. Or, are they playing for a shit team and are they only getting the last 15 minutes because they're like a spark plug off the bench? If it, a shit team like Fulham or 0-0 against a good team like Leeds and they want to try and go for the win when they have the chance. Minutes played is a sneaky one I think people forget because you look at games played, obviously, but that can be misleading. Games started is another good one, but minutes is good. What else do we do? You kind of have to pay attention to what's happening in football also, believe it or not. Like the league changes every year. The way certain positions are used by certain managers changes, and then the other managers catch up to what the good managers are doing, and then they start to play that way towards the end of the season. And now at the start of this season, now things are going to be different again, It's like
like looking at a team like Everton and going where they came from in the second half of the season under Moyes. Are they going to start the season next year like that?
Yeah, they locked it down.
Nottingham Forest, how much they dropped off in the last 7 to 10 games of last season. Is that the form they start the new season?
Not even just the form, but if you look at like the City aspect
how
of
they
it
set
as
up.
well. How they set up exactly for maybe, I don't know. We all know City had a nightmare year last year by their standards, obviously still like unbelievably good at football, just not getting results. They switched. They're doing bombing fullbacks now. And they just bought Aït-Nouri, and he's going to be doing that. It's not going to be so much Guardiola tucking into midfield. And everyone else is already going to be copying that by the time this season starts because it's
that's actually an interesting one because that's one I find very funny because it was about 2-3 years ago where he tanked out Cancelo. I went, no, I want 4 centre-backs across the back line and tuck it in, and I want one stepping into centre midfield.
But because that was it. That was in a reaction to what had happened before that.
Which was the attacking.
Which was the high and wide, and then okay, what if we get our width from the fullbacks? Like, okay, now what if we get our width from wingers again? And it's all very cyclical. The two main ways elite teams have built up, the two main changes that have happened in the last 10 years, are the exact two different stages of build-up play when football was first tracked and written about, and the rules were first being put together. It's the WM and then it's the MW. The 2-3-5 and then the 3-2-5. It's the same thing. Do you know what came after those two the first time? 2 up front. So
Wow.
I love 2 up front. I was reared on late 90s, early 2000s Prem. Give me a little and large combination any day. So I'd be excited to see that. I don't count on it because I don't think it makes sense positionally anymore, but it could be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what comes next,
Yeah. I think it's a version of the back three, I think is what's next, because that was the last manager I've seen implemented successfully in the Prem was Conte. It's very rare that anyone wins anything with a back three. He won it there and he went and won something in Italy with it too, but that's rare. And that's why I think it's not that Ruben Amorim is the guy to bring that in or anything like that. Not saying that, but I think we've seen the variations of 4-4-2, the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1. They're all variations of the same.
But they all don't matter. Those numbers don't matter. The only reason they matter is for people going to the match to look in the program when it starts saying, "Oh, that's that guy,"
Mm-hmm.
But as you say, it could go anywhere. It could be 3 at the back. It could be 6 at the back. Who knows? Maybe we get Bielsa back and everything becomes beautiful watching again. Who knows?
I was wondering how long it would take to get to that point. But yeah, so anyway, I think that's kind of a quick cover on draft tips. Like, either go with your gut, go with what.
Three approaches plus one. There's go with numbers, go with your gut, show up last minute, or clearly have an unbelievably deep strategic understanding of the game of football. Solid way to go, man.
Whichever way you want to rock it. But even we mentioned there in terms of goalkeeper situation, the likes of Martin Dubravka. So I'm going to do the little plug now. So over at StatrCast.com at the moment, STATR draft, we do have an article on the goalkeeper merry-go-round, who is primed and placed to be the first choice in each team, who are the guys who are looking at moving, where they're looking at going. Because there's going to be a couple of guys, the likes of a Dubravka, the likes of an Ortega, the likes of a Queven Kelleher, the likes of an Aaron Ramsdale, these guys who are moving into different teams, different positions, different places, where they're going to end up, because there's only 24 seats in the Premier League for goalkeepers. So there's an article over on that. Sonny has decided to go for pastures new, so we have an article lamenting the loss of Son, like we did with Kevin De Bruyne and other icons who have left the Premier League in recent times. And Jesus, there's another article over there, which is my Premier League predictions. I know Jimmy's and Gary's are coming soon, so we're going to have a full-led debate on that, I think, next week, maybe. But in the meantime, Gary's not here, but we're still going to go and sit in his corner because Dermot said a magic word, and I'm going to let him rant and rave about his favourite football topic, which isn't Spanish random football. It's actually Leeds United. So, Dermot,
for the last...
dirty to me.
I'd say for the last 8 months, my favorite football topic has actually been Rafinha. And then we had a lovely full circle moment. I got to see him play down in Brazil last month or 2 months ago. So that was pretty sweet. Leeds. All right, going into this year, I guess we'll talk football first and then fantasy.
Yeah.
Right now, the overriding feeling is one of worry. And that's having watched Leeds win the championship last year. Didn't win it by a huge number of points or anything, but other than a little blip in February, March, it always felt like Leeds were going to be getting promoted. That's after a season when we lost the championship playoff final with 90 points to Southampton. So this is one of the most put together, strongest, well-performing championship teams you're ever going to see. Farke is great. He's won that league 3 times now. He's done nothing in the Prem. He got Norwich relegated. He got fired. He actually was meant to, I was just reminded of this the other day. He was meant to sign with Krasnodar over in Russia. And he signed with them without ever managing a game because the war kicked off, so he jumped ship. He was at Mönchengladbach for a year, did nothing, mid-table, and now he's at Leeds. He's been unbelievable in the Championship. But yeah, I don't have any confidence. No, I don't have no confidence in these. I think they're going to be decent. I expect them to outperform the other promoted teams. Although looking at how the signings are going, I'm not sure I'll believe that in 10 days. I think Leeds' survival is dependent on teams like Brentford and Wolves being shit, which I anticipate both of them being.
Brentford's a big call. I definitely had Wolves in the mix there.
Keith Andrews they've put in charge.
Yeah, new manager, end of last
No offense to Keith Andrews, decent player. He was the assistant manager at Ireland for a while. Doesn't inspire confidence. Could be wrong. Maybe he's going to, continue on. Brentford's going to keep being Brentford without Frank.
That's what they do. They hire from within.
You never know. I just don't see it at the moment. And I also, in terms of the players they've lost and the players they may be losing, I don't know. I'd just be a bit more worried about them than some of the other teams. Leeds are taking no way. Trust a good manager with Iraola. I'll always trust a good manager before the team with seemingly better players, I think. So Leeds transfers in. They're buying a load of massive bastards. Everyone's like 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", 6'6". It's going to be hilarious. I'm not too familiar with a lot of the guys coming in. Their names I've heard of from around Europe. A lad from Wolfsburg, a goalie from Lyon, and so on and so forth. I can't say I've seen a lot of them playing. We got Sean Longstaff in from Newcastle, good Premier League experience, but again, I don't think anyone's heart starts racing when they hear Sean Longstaff sign for their team.
No,
in terms of fantasy, obviously. He'll bring valuable Prem experience, but again, for me it just doesn't look like enough. We still don't have a goal scorer. We've got Piru, who's a very good goal scorer, but I don't know. I've never heard a more agreed upon consensus that he will not be able to score at any sort of good rate in the Premier League about a striker in a long time. We got a new goalie, so no one's going to be seeing Melier part 3 in the Prem.
God.
Man, he was 18 when he first arrived. It was so much fun getting to the Prem with him, and then, Jesus, it was rough.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a keeper there, but whatever wheels.
We should have sold that year we got promoted, or after the first year in the Premier League. PSG came in wondering would he be their third string keeper, and we should have just sold him there and then.
Is it not surely Nicholas Pope now going to Leeds?
No, Leeds have signed a different goalie, Perry, from Lyon. Yeah.
Okay.
That's done.
He's quite good, actually, from anything I've seen.
They say he's very good.
Yeah.
He was only there a year. He came straight from Brazil last year, did a year in Lyon, performed well, and now he's
younger again, so is he?
I think he's like 24, 25.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%.
He's mid-20s.
But he's 27, yeah, sorry. A little bit older than I had thought. And yeah, that's kind of it. I'm not that excited about Leeds coming back up anymore because I've seen what's happened to relegated teams for the last couple of years. And also, it's quite addictive watching your team win every week.
Mm.
It's that switch from the Championship to the Prem when you have...
And it's not even just Championship. It's switched from being the best in the Championship.
Well, like Sunderland, as you said, did it, or Southampton did the year before they came up, and then they got embarrassed. You've had, you're going to have Burnley. I think they're up to nothing this summer.
Trafford's gone now.
Trafford's gone now. They've brought in a couple of fellas, all kind of mid-stack, nothing special. Scott Parker's a bang average manager. I have him down to be the first manager sacked this summer. Sunderland, bless them, are spending money.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going. It doesn't look like they're spending the right money on the right guys. If you get me,
I think
Jack is going to pick up. Do you think he'll do enough to stay up, Dermot?
Leeds. I'd say if we do enough to stay up, it'll be with about 33 or 34 points. I don't like. Again, I hope I'm wrong. This will not be like that first year Leeds came up with Bielsa when we finished 11th. Nearly kicks the shit out of Liverpool opening game. No, there's none of that. I don't know. It just doesn't inspire me. It's like Farke as well. He's great in the Championship, but he's failed in the Premier League twice.
They nearly fired him over the summer as well. I remember reading that they were doing like internal review. They spent 2 weeks like reviewing him, and they were kind of like,
I think
there's exactly what you were saying there. It's like, you're a great championship manager, but do we need to swap you out for somebody who knows this league better than you? So they
if you just look at the way, I think the interesting conversation there, it's obviously, I mean, it's going to come down to the whims of the few if a manager gets sacked or not. But looking at the way that they treat that asset compared to some other assets, where it's like, obviously the money's going to be pretty high on a good manager. It's not going to be as high as some of your best players always. You know, depending on this club, depending on the level you're at, depending on the circumstance through which you join the team, you might not necessarily be making a load of more money. But there's a much more, and obviously the manager's huge impact when you compare it to any individual player. But teams are sometimes, I think, too reluctant to get rid of the guy. And it's a specific case where you're talking promotion, and I would even say promotion strictly to the Premier League, where there's such a different expectation in terms of what you're going to have to do to stay up now, and given the last few years. I wouldn't have blamed them if they sacked him. The problem is, who do you bring in that scenario?
Sean Dyche.
No, I don't want I don't want any of that fucking bottom of the table specialist nonsense. When they got rid of Jesse Marsh, they thought the solution was Sam Allardyce. This century, they thought the solution was Sam Allardyce. You know. So,
yeah, I would have thought the Thomas Frank Brentford approach of up to it. Right now we're 17th, now we're 14th, now we're 11th. That kind of thing would work.
This is miracle work, though. You know,
yeah.
I'm no fan of Thomas Frank based on completely irrelevant points from bad vibes with Leeds one year, but like, that's not the norm.
No.
Bournemouth's not the norm. Leeds finishing 11th when they came up wasn't the norm. Even Wolves hasn't been the norm. You know. You get up and you struggle for 3, 4, 5 years, and then you're gone again, and then you might come back up or you might not. You know.
It's been very boomerangy the last couple of years, though. The last 6 years promoted all went straight back
unprecedentedly down. Boomerangy. We've done 6 for 6 now. We've been 2 years in a row of everyone who's come up has gone down. I think for the first time ever.
I wouldn't bet against 9 for 9.
I wouldn't. The only thing I think keeps either Leeds or Sunderland, whichever one get their shit together, is the home form. I think Leeds have that. Yeah. Leeds and Sunderland are both the two types of teams that they have that kind of feral home support that will carry a team through a dirty 1-0 win. You know, towards the end of the season when you need a result. There's a few places that just have that.
I feel like
that vibe, that emotion.
I think the last few years as well, Wolves have been really hanging on. They've just gotten a small surge at the end of last 10 weeks of the season that's got them 6 or 7 points safe. But I think losing Cunha now and
a goal scorer.
Yeah, they're going to miss him. I think between Nori and Cunha, if Leeds were to stay up, I think Wolves could be the one that could maybe possibly be going down.
Dean, I fully agree with you, Dean. They're like Southampton a few years ago when you progressively sell your best players summer after summer and you replace them with fellas a third of the cost. Eventually that catches up with you.
Yeah.
And I think we're at that point now where it started to catch up with Leeds or catch up with Wolves.
I still maintain it's not Wolves. Wolves are not the ones with the most drastic shock. I know they've lost a lot out front, but I'm going to say it again. Bournemouth have transferred out Huijsen, Kerkez and Kepa. And in return, they have bought Petrovic and some young fella called Truffle.
Petrovic, good signing. The goalie.
Yeah, but he's a good signing, but he's not necessarily significantly better than Kepa. And they're swimming on a pile of cash and no points. I think they're the ones who have an absolute implosion this season. I think they drop in a significant way. Whether it's enough to keep Leeds, I don't know. Who are the players, Derm? Who should we be drafting?
Yeah, Leeds.
Yeah.
Fantasy. All right. So, a couple of schools of thought on this. There's going to be a lot of defending.
Ethan Ampadu.
No, I'd say Joe Rodon is your way to go. But Bogle, the fullback, the right wing back, Bogle is a good choice in terms of that bombing fullback kind of role. Another interesting one I think could be Goodmanson, the new left back. Now, he's not a known creator, but he will be starting left back because Junior Firpo's gone to Betis. The thing about Goodmanson is that last year, Firpo ended up with 7 assists in 26 games because of the way we were playing. It was a lot of bomb down the left, but then that fullback tucking in the final third. So all of a sudden, Firpo's getting himself on the end of. He didn't score many goals. I think he might have scored only 1, but having chances, providing assists, and he had 2 left feet. So I don't know. But again, we're talking then about like, are Leeds going to be able to play? They were playing last year, next year. No. Are they going to be able to resemble it at all? I don't know. Who even is this Goodmanson guy? I haven't seen a lot of him. So I'd probably go Bogle if you're trying to pick someone. I would take Dan James if he's available as a bench option because he's absolutely rapid. He will get you the odd assist, the odd goal. You just don't want. Leeds have a lot of guys who could be okay, but you don't want to support them. They're very frustrating. Tanaka is a great player in midfield. Very short, Japanese fella. Again, do I worry about him stepping up to the Prem? Yes. Do I think he'll be one of our best players this year? Yes. I would avoid Brendan Aronson as much as possible. I'm tempted to say avoid Piru, but like the reality is if he is our starting number 9 and we are scrapping for relegation, it's highly likely that the only person who's going to be able to score goals is the striker. So pack in a fullback, I would say. Pick up the keeper, Perry. He's going to have a lot of shots fired at him. And then if you want to, Rodon could be a good call from set pieces. Or, the new lads. These fucking giant trees of defenders we've signed. They're all huge. One of them is bound to score a goal or two, you know?
They're all huge. I'm actually looking at them here. You've got Anton Stash, who you signed from Hoffenheim. Bijol, who you signed for 18 million from Udinese. He's going to play.
He's good. He's a centre back who you certainly wouldn't want to be running at. He will.
No, he's a big boy. And the only other transfer you brought in, attacking wise, is Ncheka from Wolfsburg.
Striker, one of the least prolific strikers that was starting for a team in the top divisions. So I don't understand those kind of moves, to be honest.
So Dermot, give me 3. Give me
get Bogle, the right back.
Get Bogle. Who's your outside option? Your wildcard option?
The wildcard option is going to be the left back, Goodmanson, and grab the goalie.
John's frozen. Who do you avoid?
Aronson.
Yeah, AMs don't come up well. AMs do not come up well. I would have said as a wild card, I would nearly say, based on your logic, was the only one that caught my eye was Pirro, because I remember the last time Leeds were up and there was that we have literally no one else to play up front, and even if we have a bad time, we're going to score a few goals along the way and they're all going to go through. Now, I'm not saying pick Bamford, but Pirro's in the same place now, isn't it? Anyway, it's him or nobody out front,
Tell you something, and we'll leave it there then for Leeds. The biggest compliment you could ever give to Marcelo Bielsa. That lad had Patrick Bamford scoring 17 goals in the Premier League.
That's skill. That's management right there. All right, and that's it for the Premier League team previews this year. Because nobody wants to hear about the dirty, cheating, rotten bastards that are Fulham. John,
what do you mean, dirty, rotten, cheating bastards? We have a swimming pool in our stadium for a start. It's the bougiest football club in England. You can bring your yacht up to the dock and then go and sit in the pool and watch the game. I'm actually not even fucking joking. It's a genuine thing. It's beautiful. And to make it even better, there's a cottage in the side of the stadium. If you want just random shit, go to Craven Cottage. Up until about 2 years ago, we had a statue of Michael Jackson, because it turns out that the old owner is also a bad person. But we're not getting into that. He's a terrible fucking human being.
Moving along.
But the current owners are lovely. They're very what you'll notice is Fulham don't do their business until the last 2 weeks of the summer. They wait and they go and pick off fucking scraps. And then they also look at, did you used to play for Arsenal, or do you live around London? And do you have kids that are probably settled and you don't want to go somewhere else? Hi, we have a lovely place for you to come and chill out. That's the kind of football club it is. So there's no dealings done in the summer so far. All they've actually done is bought a second choice goalkeeper. But let me reel off some names that they're looking at bringing in. And this is what we do every year. So Raheem Sterling, he's going to be coming in, which I know people are going to be like, ugh. At a team like Fulham, that's a good fucking deal. That's another Willian. Willian got another couple of years out of his career by
Raheem Sterling is like the fucking player version of fucking like Roy Hodgson or something. Just like his contract runs down at the end of the fucking a team, and then some other team just comes and picks him up. Like,
sorry, dude. Roy Hodgson managed Inter Milan.
He also brought Fulham to Europa League final
against Atletico. Let's not.
Are we going? I can name both those teams nearly from that night, like David De Gea and fucking Sergio Aguero for a start.
Yeah, that team was so good. Falcao.
That Atleti team was about to pop off, and it was that night against Fulham that they made it happen. And we're not going to talk about that because Dermot's going to get too much enjoyment out of today. But essentially what I'm saying is Fulham are the type of club, they don't do their business early, they do it late because they think that's basically where the Cans can find good deals. They look for bargains. They look for fellas who basically know that they're not wanted where they're at and give them a home. So the likes of Alex Iwobi, it's well, kind of, but also Marco Silva is the kind of manager that when he brings in a player, he brings them in and goes, right, this is your plan. So like Adama Traore, they basically didn't play him for the first year that he was there because the idea was to minimize the amount of impact injuries he was getting with his running style. So essentially he was getting a lot of like hamstring pulls and kind of those type of injuries from just being super quick. Marco Silva was like, right, we're going to work around this. We're going to get you up to speed. They gave a training plan to the likes of Willian that basically extended his top level career by 2 years. Then they've also picked off players from Premier League clubs who were on the way out. So Andres Pereira, Emil Smith-Rowe, Harry Wilson, they look around the top 5-6 teams in the league and go, who are lads that are just not quite making the grade for you? Cool, come here. So they've built a team of very hard-working type players. They find a lot of good bargains that they move on. The transfer fees they've accrued over the last couple of years in terms of João Palhinha, in terms of Mitrovic. There's
Palhinha's back,
Palhinha's gone to Spurs. By the way, what a fucking deal for Spurs.
What a deal for Spurs.
And especially in the new system over in the other place and the system that we actually use in terms of interceptions and defensive actions from a midfielder, he's worth a look.
He's a first round pick if ever I saw.
Yeah. He's worth a look. But in terms of basically Fulham's business over the summer, it's very hard to pick at the moment because, as I said, they're looking at a few guys. They're looking at Alexander Zinchenko. He's obviously settled in London, doesn't want to move abroad. They're going to look at him in the midfield. You've got obviously Reece Nelson, who was on loan last year, another of the Hale End group of ex-Arsenal Academy players. Essentially what they're in the market for at the moment is they want a forward, they want a wide man, another defender, and potentially a midfielder if they can find one. And essentially that's going to be the idea, is find higher potential players, fellas that can come in and improve the team, improve the quality in the squad, but also good pros who can essentially help Fulham keep doing what they're doing, which is, Jimmy, as you said, the Brentford way of, since they've stabilized in the Premier League, every year it's like a 2-position lift.
Little
2-position lift. And that's what they've done over the last 3 years, is increment, despite selling their best player each summer.
They're doing it to one, and it's doable. It's like the Dortmund strategy,
Yes.
Sell Haaland and then sell Bellingham. Don't sell them both in the same.
Well, that was it. It was like sell Mitrovic, and then they went and bought like Anderson and who was it that summer? Adama Traore. You had Jimenez. You know what I mean? They put the money into 3-4 fellas and spread it across the squad and bring up the overall level. They did that last year with João Palhinha, and I think this summer, as I said, it's a centre forward, it's a centre midfielder, winger, and maybe a defender in that kind of order. So they're looking at Zinchenko, they're looking at Dewsbury Hall, who looks like he's gone to Everton.
He's going to Everton now.
Looking at Raheem Sterling. There's your man at AC Milan, who I can't pronounce his name properly. I think he's ex-Chelsea Academy, Samuel Chukwueze. So
did someone not just buy him?
Fulham put in a bid for him. I know that.
Oh, sorry, maybe that's what I'm...
He'd be a great signing into the Premier League. And then also Douglas Luiz is another one they're looking at, because he's obviously in that bit of a standoff with Juventus, and he wants to come back to England.
He is very good at football.
That would be a fucking great loan deal to get for a year. But I'll say it now, I reckon the ones they'll get will be the ones I don't really want, which will be Federico Chiesa, it'll be Zinchenko, and it'll be Sterling, and that'll be their summer business.
Would you not want Zinchenko?
The thing is, he competes with my favorite player in the squad in terms of his main position.
No.
You know what I mean? He's not like, you're not bringing in Zinchenko to start as your left back. They've already
you bring him in as a centre midfielder.
As a centre midfielder, is he an upgrade though on Sanderberg? Is he an upgrade?
He hasn't played. It's hard to know when he hasn't played so much. But I remember I used to watch him playing in midfield for Ukraine, and I didn't understand why. I understood at Man City because Pep does beat Pepin or whatever, but like I didn't understand why he wasn't being used in midfield in general. He's really good in there. But again, what are we now? 3 years on without him playing regularly? I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. But right, anyway, in terms
so just to clarify something in the numbers, is he better than Sanderberg? Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Just for the infrequent amount of football that he actually plays.
Well, yeah, I mean, when he's on the pitch, sure, but this is the Fulham problem, and it's actually, in a weird way, it's quite similar to the Brighton problem. You've got a couple of big names up top. You've got a couple of really big names up top. One whose name I won't say because we all know who I'm talking about. John, you're going to be the first person saying his name tonight. We'll get there when who's your nailed on pick. It has to be. But I mean, if you look down through it, Jimenez was good, 9 points per game, but he's also only playing about 50 minutes a week. That's going to hurt in the new point system. Yep. He's only got 2,500 minutes from 38 games, where the norm would be about 3,400 if you're playing the whole thing. So he's short a third of each game on average. And that's going to hurt in a points-based system like ours. So
that's kind of what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. Like, who are these firecrackers like? Yeah, the minutes are so important in this game, even out front. And then you've got a couple of guys who I don't know. I'm not going to steal your parade here, but I'll tell you who my wild card is at the end. And it's not. If you had 20 guesses, you wouldn't get it. And I'm probably wrong, but we'll come back to that. John,
the pick is the pick.
Who is it for Fulham?
He's the best left back in English football at the moment. For me, he's topping the charts in terms of, as a defender, getting the same amount of assists last year as Bukayo Saka, second most interceptions, top 3 for tackles. If you were to list out every metric that you want from a fullback, he's hitting top 5 for every fucking single one of them. And it's Antonee Robinson. I'm going to have a little rant here. I love that man. I love Fulham. But how dare the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Man United, the likes of Chelsea, the likes of Arsenal, who've all been dancing around going, we need left back, we need left back, and not go to who is statistically the best left back in the league for the last 2 years. It's a joke to me. Like, is it because he plays for an unfashionable team in Fulham? Is it because he's a Yank? Is it because I don't know. I don't know what it is. But for me, he's been the best left back in the Premier League for the last 2 years. There's been others who've had moments, but consistently over 2 years, he's been the best left back for me. So he's lock. Jimmy's nodding as if I'm saying something that he's going to disagree with statistically.
Nope. You're absolutely right. Antonee Robinson has been like this bizarre numerical outlier in the left backs for the last 3 years. We've written several articles about defenders over on StatrCast.com. That's StatrCast.com. And every time Antonee Robinson comes back like those, he's always there. The last few years, he's been absolutely brilliant. I do not understand why he plays for Fulham.
Neither do I. I love him, but like this is another Joe Polinia, another Mitrovic type thing of there has to be a time where someone comes in and puts a wedge of cash down the table.
Who's the someone?
I don't know. Well, like I would have bought him over Kirkes for Liverpool for a start. United need a fullback that can cross the ball, and it's not Luke Shaw, and it's not Dorgu, and it's not Dallo. So I'd have been looking at him. If you're Chelsea, is he an upgrade on Cucurella? Yes. If you're over at Arsenal, Arsenal are probably
don't encourage Chelsea to buy anyone else ever again. They
went and spent a wedge on Nuri. Robinson would have been better.
They just bought Hato from Ajax, this great young defender.
Yeah.
Like, what is he? The 8th, somewhere between the 1st and 8th defender on that team. Like, they're just overloaded.
No, it's one of those ones that I'm, as I said, like City went out and spent a wedge on Nuri for the same money, similar there for kind of money. They'd have got Robinson, who imagine his balls going to Haaland's head. Not like that. before Dean does that little fucking chuckle down in the corner.
I mean,
but like his distribution, his crossing ability, you put him in any of those. I'm shocked a team from the continent, because American players have a tendency to go over to Italy after their time, before or after their time in England. So I'm shocked that an Inter, an AC, a Roma, like one of those teams, not Napoli necessarily, but all those teams that are chasing Napoli, I'm shocked they didn't come in. But for me, he's the lock. He's the obvious. If you're picking Fulham players, he's first and foremost. But also, if you're looking at picking defenders, he's in the top half of the draft.
Do you think it's an age thing?
He's only 27.
I know, but only isn't 27 in soccer anymore.
So
that's right. That's right at the point where as soon as you're 28, you're like, I'd say 27 is arguably a depreciating asset.
Okay, but at 27, he's now hitting his peak.
Playing in his peak 100%. But I guess my point is more, if let's just take the straight comparison with Kirk as at Liverpool, right? A little bit younger, increases resale value, increases potential longevity at the club if he does hit. I'm not saying 27 is too old at all. I'm trying to also figure out, I think Antonee Robinson, I'm like you, John. He's way too good for your shit team.
He's too good. But the thing is, what's going to happen here, and I'm going to call it now, the World Cup is in America in the summer. And one of the big European teams like an AC, a Dortmund, are going to come in and buy him after the World Cup, because he's going to show on TV when everybody's watching, because you only get to see one in every fucking 7 Fulham games on the TV. There's going to be 8 games, 7 games where he's seen on TV, on the BBC, on RT, and then one of those teams is going to pop up and go, "Oh yeah, it turns out he is actually quite good," and they'll go and buy him. And that's
you haven't watched much US soccer recently, have you? That's not a showcase for anyone's talent. They are
what, the World Cup next summer?
No, the team he'll be playing.
Well, the team themselves are absolute muck at the minute, but he's going to stand out as one of those players in the competition. So you pick him. Yes,
John. Before you actually propose to him live on the podcast, who do we avoid from Fulham?
You avoid any of their centre forwards. You avoid Jimenez. You avoid Muniz.
Really?
Yeah, I had Jimenez last year. He broke my heart. Honestly,
he's out of here.
Jimenez scores in spurts. He'll get 2 this week, 1 next week, won't score for 4. But you look at his numbers and it'll go 3 in the last 6, 3 in the last 5.
Honestly,
he'll always have that consistent record where it looks like, oh, he scored 6 in his last 10 games, but he did it in 3.
Yeah.
So he shouldn't top 30 last year overall.
Jimenez
28th overall last year.
Yeah.
Jimenez in points.
I believe that. He's busy. He's active. He links the play very well. He's also getting on.
I don't think he has a season even remotely close to last year in him this year.
No, last season was his best season since his time at Wolves. The season before, as a Fulham fan, was very frustrating because you could see the player was there, and whatever mentally after the injuries that he had.
Head injury,
mentally that you could see things like the heading of the ball and stuff. He wasn't as, or those kind of 50-50 challenges. But last year he seemed to click back to the guy that he was. But again, he's now getting, I think he must be 34 now. There's only so long that can carry through.
He's holding on to host the World Cup next summer as well, remember? So
yeah, that's essentially what it is.
The Mexican lads are also going to be well up for it this season, as well as the Yanks.
I think so, but this is the problem with him being 34 years of age, is that because he's going to essentially bow out next summer after the World Cup. In the last 10 games or so of the season, he ain't pulling up any trees. He's protecting himself, which is just going to be how it is. Muniz is the obvious.
He's on the way out.
Well, it's not even necessarily. They don't want to sell, but if they bring in an upgrade, they will. But he's mental to watch. He has all of the attributes. He has all of the attributes. His hold of play is class. He's a unit. He's quick. His problem is he may be the single most frustrating finisher I've seen in the Premier League. If there's an opportunity to go for a scissors kick, I'm doing it. Can I head the ball from 3 yards? Yeah, sure, but why don't I try this mad?
Did you call that frustrating? That is exactly what we're watching football for.
No, but if there's a header 3 yards out and it's like, here, go 1-0. No, let me try get my leg up here and do some ballerina. No. Put your numbers on the board, and then let's come back and talk about your extras.
I'd take him. at Leeds.
I love him at Fulham, but if we're picking fantasy assets, don't pick Muniz.
Don't pick Muniz.
As much as he's entertaining, it's the same problem as an Adama Traore. Super exciting to watch. Very inconsistent end product. My wild card,
very oily.
Not anymore. They don't oil him up down there. My wild cards. This part's hard because I have 3 and I'm going to have to pick one.
If it starts with 3 S's, don't say it.
Are you saying Ryan Sessegnon?
Yeah.
No, I'm leaving. This is going to be the year I finally let him go. My 3 wildcard picks are Andres Pereira, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Josh King. Andres Pereira cannot have a season as bad as he had last year. I think his head was turned by the offer to go to Marseille to play European football. They haven't come back in for him. He's looked very sharp in preseason so far. Emil Smith-Rowe started the season last year like a freight train. Josh King signed a new contract, youth player. Do you know what? Actually, screw all of them guys. There's only one actual wildcard option. His name is Alex Iwobi. We love that man. He's the man that should be oiled up.
Iwobi is wonderful. Iwobi is the heart of that team.
Iwobi's class.
I'm going to go a different way for my wildcard, if I may.
Go on.
Proven Premier League performer statistically on a team that will be busy at the back.
Oh, Anderson
has had in and out problems with him.
Talking about Castan.
I am. If he has one of his good years, he could move. If he was to move up by about 30% on his weekly return, if he did that, he's in the top 5 Fulham players. So keep an eye on him.
First choice on the right, Robinson's first choice on the left. Bassi and Anderson are your 2 centre backs. Bassi could be one to watch for this season.
Bassi's fast.
So
Bassi's fast. He's very raw, very loose, very entertaining to watch.
Very raw.
24 games last year at roughly 70 minutes average. He does play. And the 2 that you named are both.
Say that again. 24
I think you're clinging onto the past there.
No,
John. With Pereira and Smith-Rowe, they just don't score. Like the thing is, they can be distracted. They can be brilliant when they were at Arsenal. It was a great year, and then he used to wear a United jersey, and there was a drama.
And just Pereira
5 points per week.
Stalwart of
5 points per week doesn't get you on my bench. Those boys can.
He had a bad year, but he has been a stalwart for us for years now.
But I don't think he comes back, mate. To be honest with you, I think he's done. I think he's done, and I'd love to believe because he is one of those players you love to see do well. He's a Ward-Prowse. He's that midfielder where the moment he's drafted, 50 or 10 or 11 other lads are all going to go, you bastard. You know?
Emil Smith-Rowe, Andres Pereira, they're the kind of guys later in the draft when you're looking at filling out a bench, solid guys. Solid guys to fill out your bench.
I would be looking at Sessa and Kenny Tete before I'd be going that low, to be honest.
Sessegnon will be interested in Josh King.
You non-Fulham supporter, don't be picking any of these lads.
I won't be. No, but Fulham are the team who consistently every season
you don't pick
their whole starting 11 gets picked, and everybody puts them on the bench and leaves them there for the year, with the exception of Iwobi and Robinson, occasionally Jimenez. But for the most part, Fulham are the definition of mediocre, stack my bench, round 15 bullshit, and that's all they'll ever be.
I disagree. European Conference football is coming their way this summer.
Yeah, plus don't forget about the Europa League final 2011.
2008.
Was it 2008? Oh, sorry. So many European finals over in Atletico, I get them confused. Come here, the Sunderland manager has just signed a new contract. That man's going to get a serious payout in November.
Yes, he is. I still think Scott Parker is going to get fired before him. But anyway, on the Fulham stuff, Calvin Bassey is a guy I expect to progress. Sessegnon, I expect to continue breaking my balls. Antonee Robinson.
Calvin Bassey, though, is not the kind of guy. He's fun to if you're watching. He's not the kind of guy you want in fancy. Because he'll accidentally get 2 red cards a season.
Oh yeah. Like he's wild.
He's a Tom Carey.
He's an absolute ox of a man, but he's very. I don't know. He's just not all refined as a defender yet. He just seems a bit loosey goosey at times.
He's very raw. He's great crack to watch. I think
he's a physical specimen.
In 3 years' time, you're going to be seeing him play for a bigger team. In 3 years, he will be playing. He will be playing for a bigger team. He's got the He's got all the raw attributes. He's getting great minutes in the Premier League at the moment. He's progressing year on year. Year on year, he's got steadily better. I think give him another year, and I could see him being a Spurs. He could be a fantastic acquisition for Spurs. Same with an Antonee Robinson. Spurs would be massively upgraded with players like them. But as I said, Antonee Robinson's my lock. My wildcard is Iwobi. My avoid is a Fulham striker. And if you're looking for bench fillers, look at Pereira, Emil Smith-Rowe. Right. And if you're looking for a youth player who can possibly step up, one of those outliers, have a look at Josh King.
Youth players are not going anywhere near anyone here's team, I hope.
No time early, but if there's one that to keep an eye on for later in the year, it'll be Josh King. If he starts getting minutes, have a look. He's worth a look later in the year because he'll be that guy.
Joshua King.
Yep, Joshua King replaces one of those older white fellas.
This can't be who I'm thinking of.
I thought he was Bournemouth.
No, young fella.
He's not a young fella.
Through the academy.
Oh, sorry, Joshua King for Bournemouth. Yeah, I was born in 1992.
Yeah, you're thinking of a different guy.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else. They have this exact same name, same job.
Sure. I think that's about it now for tonight. Like, I think we've covered what I like. I know what I want from Fulham. Dermot, we're going to have to. I don't know if we can have a wager this year of who finishes higher because it's going to be Fulham. Maybe Jimmy, it's me and you. And
we can handicap it.
I'll take your money.
Well, who's going to finish higher? Brighton, Fulham.
Brighton.
There's one for the comments. Brighton, Fulham, or Leeds.
Brighton, and the simple reason is that Mitoma didn't leave.
Who's going to finish lower? Fulham and Brighton or Leeds?
Oh, that's Leeds.
You know, 9th, 19th? Or 9th, 8th, 19th?
Oh, if you sum them. Okay, yeah. Actually, do you know what? I think Leeds could win that one. I could see Leeds finishing 17th with Brighton 8th and Fulham 10th is very realistic.
Brighton 8th, I think, is ambitious.
I'll tell you what, I'm after reading something there in the last 5 minutes to say Mitrovic has been offered on loan back to Fulham. If that happens, I'm going to cry.
Mitrovic?
Yeah.
It's happening?
Look at me, John. If that happens, I promise you I will pick him in the second round. Just to annoy you.
Brighton were 8th last season, Dermot.
Yeah, that's a different team to their team this season.
It is.
Their team this season is primarily going to be Danny Welbeck up front. So until they sort that out, and this is no shade on Danny Welbeck. Fine footballer. He's made one hell of a longer, more successful career than any of us expected when we watched him when he was young. He's not João Pedro.
He's not João Pedro, but then again, I'm not convinced that João Pedro is João Pedro.
Get convinced.
I don't think João Pedro does 90 minutes. I think he's a 30-minute man. Yeah.
Play us out, John.
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's fair because no. Outside of that, look, here's the drill, right? So we're a couple of weeks away from the season. Watch this space. The waiting list is going to close by the time we do the next podcast. By the next podcast, that waiting list is going to be closed and locked in. We'll do our Jimmy. Are we happy to say sometime next week we'll do that AMA session where we let everybody pollute us with their FPL and fantasy and drafting and their general football database questions? We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll tell you everything we can tell you as best we can, and we'll make as little sense as usual doing so.
Perfect. But even then, if it's just general, do we know numbers in football? Yes. So if you want to come onto a session, ask us questions about trying to pick your teams in all of the different competitors. We know some things about football, whether it's one of the American models, whether it's one of the English models, whether it's our own model, because we've been doing this for a very long time. A scarily long time. We've been playing this game for 10 years. We are weeks, days, hours, seconds, nanoseconds, atoms, years away from sharing our game with all of you people. So head on over to the site, StatrDraft, StatrDraft.com. There is a pile of content over on the site right now. There is a regular flow of content over on the site, whether you're looking for draft tips, whether you're looking for players coming into the league, or my personal favorite new article is who's my first choice goddamn goalkeeper. It's all over there. Check us out on the social medias. We're StatrDraft.com everywhere. So that's it. Peace out. We're done.
Bye-bye.
Good luck, everybody.